What's up, guys? Oops, forget about that. Welcome back to Umineko. It's alright on here. Alright. For the time being, I put aside whether 19th person existed, and announced our theory that the goal of the culprit might have been to make us solve the riddle of the epitaph. Uncle Hideyoshi seemed to be extremely interested, but Aunt Natsuhi said it was ridiculous and dismissed it. Of course, if you think about it that way, even that letter from yesterday makes sense. That motive seems to fit for her pretty well with the facts. Setting aside whoever it was that gave Mirai Chen the letter. Ooh, bitches exist, ooh. Even though she's puffed up her cheeks in that cute way she'd be doing since yesterday, I couldn't think of it as cute. If I poked fun at her, it might suddenly transform into a creepy laugh. There is no hidden gold. However, if the culprit is blindly sure of its existence, if they're trying to make us solve the riddle before snatching the gold away from themselves, they all agree it makes sense. However, if they were the case, they would just start by killing host Harley Renton and Shiromir family. I see your point. If they want to make us solve the riddle, killing us closest to Kinzo's son doesn't sound like a good plan to me. That's true enough, and if we're going with that argument, wouldn't it have been quicker to threaten father in the first place? I think it'd be faster to just ask the person who wrote it rather than try to force us to solve it. You've got a point there. Still, I think it'd take more than your average step to make father spill the beans. Anyone who knows Kinzo's son well will probably realize that he won't bow to ordinary threats. He's a man who bears responsibility for the Ushimiya family and all his vast wealth. He's been exposed to many threats and attacks in the past. The family only prospers today because he was able to overcome all of them. That's freaking right. I can't even imagine our grandfather obeying someone because of a threat. Just go watch your own language. Yes, well. In that case, what about this idea? I know it in this one house, so way out there. I couldn't hesitate. Outdoor ideas like bows and arrows, it might be hard to hit with, but it's a great weapon because you can hit enemies far away. They say most people who've died in battles were killed by arrow wounds. In a battle, you can't just shoot off one arrow. You will shoot a whole bunch of arrows at once, pushing it forward towards the enemy troops with all of them. So keep shooting over and over. Create a wall she push forward towards the truth. If the culprits after they end in gold forces us to solve the riddle, it would be very efficient for him. It'd be much quicker and easier for the asking person who made it in the first place. In that case, the question is all that message directed at grandfather? In other words, these murders were a threat made against grandfather. If he didn't kill the culprit, what the gold was, his family members would kill off one by one. And then with anyone else being forced to solve this riddle, what grandfather was too. If you think about it, explains grandfather's mysterious disappearance. If the culprit has already attacked grandfather, then judging by the state of the 6 corpses were left in, he should have been left to display something with that horrible makeup added. When despite that, we still haven't found him. Does that mean grandfather has been kidnapped and is being held somewhere? How could? You on set and how could? Yeah, that sounds interesting. So grandfather's being confined somewhere. And the culprit saying will be killed off one by one if he doesn't tell him what the gold is. It pains me to imagine how you find that interesting. And Natsuhi glared at her, but Aniba just calmly. Since we still haven't seen him after all this time, I think it's almost certain that grandfather's gotten caught up in the crime. I mean, think about it, you can't just ignore Battler Gun's story, right? Be quiet, George. In the first place, when the father actually disappeared. Who was the last person to see father? It was probably me. This morning we didn't know where my husband and rest were discussed the possibility that me and father's study. We went to check his room and greet him there. I skipped to think of it, been holding this key to the study this whole time, haven't I? Could you let me return this to you? And that's when you pulled out the gold key into Genji. Look at the key and Eva giggled. Hey, Genji-san, I'm sure the police will inspect father's room thoroughly. If there's anything hidden there, it'll be just exposed anyway. So it might be better if you just told us about it right here, right now. What are you talking about? It's simple. Father studies a closed room with no way in or out with that key, right? I want to verify whether that's true. There's one entrance to father's study. What about the window? Any other entrances or exits? There's none. This is no way to get in except that entrance. You sure about that? There is some secret hidden door or anything, since father isn't here. I'm the highest ranking member of the Ishimori family. I must get back a representative of the Ishimori family's head. Remember that when you answer me, are there any other ways out of that room other than the main entrance? As father's closest aide, I'm sure you would know. Natsuhi looked a little offended at that part about the highest ranked family member, but she kept her mouth closed for the time being, away for Genji's answer. I couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. Why is she going on about hidden doors? You too can't conclude myself a sign if you know what you tell me. There's one, it better be if you said so. Otherwise, a certain person might be driven to a corner in a second. It was assumed that it was like in a door that Margaret becomes nothing, and knew what this was like, which was it was had to be about the gym into the corner. But following the flow of the conversation, I had to feel what she was referring to Natsuhi. Mother, will you talk about George? Stay quiet for a bit. What do you say? Geichi-san, Kennen-kan, or Kumasawa-san is their hidden door, or not? Geichi-san, when you mold the father study, he must have overseen the construction. I won't let you say you don't know. There's something like that in the master study. You sure? What about Kennen-kan, who's allowed to weather one-winged eagle? That's right, I'm sure there is no such hidden door in the master study. Kumasawa-san? No, I haven't heard such a thing. What about Dr. Najo? You've had a close relationship with father. I have never heard something like that. Very well then. So are you ready? Let me begin. It's very simple. Anyone had tilted their head definitely wondering what Annie was starting to talk about so proudly. Annie laughed triumphantly as though we were about to reveal a secret only she knew. Natsuhi Nisan was less persistent about father, right? I forgot the exact time. I think it was a little before 9 in the morning. Nisan, you remember? I meant to just as we were coming out father's study, right? Yes, I remember. What does that have to do with anything? And on the next time we went to visit father's study, there was, after we found the bodies of Nisan and the rest, right? Together with we went up to the study to report them and discovered that he wasn't there. By the way, Nisan, at that time when you went into the father's study, did he notice anything? Notice anything? What are you talking about? Come on, you picked up some trash, right? A full receipt. I do seem to remember picking up some trash, how it was relevant. I got the receipt when I bought some candy at the store before arriving at the airport. I knew to pull the small bag of candy, never hand bag. The receipt for the candy he bought back there, but mother, what does that receipt to do with anything? George, stay quiet and listen for a bit longer. Uncle Diaz's expression was a little strict. Apparently he understood what Amy was getting at. It really was just a whim. I definitely didn't foresee anything or try to step out of trap or Natsui or anything like that. Actually, about that receipt, he said you remember bumping into me right after the last time you saw father, right? At that time, I was just into the doors to the study. So what does that mean? Are you saying no one opened the door until Natsuhi picked up that receipt? Wait a second, Eva. I want your receipt, and it will be obvious. It's possible that when grandfather opened the door, he nursed it, found it in music, and stuck it back in the door. Jessica Hurley agreed back. She still didn't really know what that's all meant. She realized that whatever it was, it would raise suspicions about her own mother. Of course, I found the full receipt up to very small so that no one would notice it. But even if you assumed that he saw it fall, he would no way of knowing how high up the door it would be stuck, right? I checked again while Natsuhi Nisan was talking about taking the key out. The seat was still stuck 1 millimeter away from where I put it. I can't understand why you put for such a childish prank. I bet you were the one who did that prank on my dorm room too. The door to your room? It was a pleasant talk about, so I never mentioned it, but when I woke up this morning, there were signs of some prank outside my door, with what was probably the same rare paint that was scribbled across the shutter. There were some unpleasant marks as though someone had tried to turn the door. Wait, what's this? Why did you keep this quiet about this until now? My apologies. It's so many horrible things have occurred since then. I completely forgot about it until this moment. You know anything about that? I'm not talking about your door, but to the door to the father's room, right? Between that, I mean, confirmed that he was in the room, and then confirmed he was at the door was open once. How did father get out if he didn't use that door? I don't know that. That's what I want to know. Natsuhi Nisan, I don't know if I knew. Who else checked to see whether father was in this room? The last time I met Ken and Samas, we were playing chess, so I was with them until just before dinner. Who saw him after that? I did. I gave him his dinner last night. Yes, Shannon and I were with him. So at that time, father was still definitely in his room. However, Natsuhi Nisan, when he found he was up there, it looks like always in or out of the study were closed, right? But even so, you said you met with him this morning. I noticed that when he has become so gloomy. Could someone please explain to me? Father and mother, are you saying that what Natsuhi says about grandfather this morning was a lie? Like hell she lied about that. Mom's guiltless. Why would she lie? Jessica, I keep you telling you about your language. All at once, his whole room was up in an uproar, and Ivan and Natsuhi confronted each other across the parlor table, with George confronting Jessica. What the heck's going on? Many people spotted him last night, right? But since it's what only the person couldn't see any father was Natsuhi Nisan. And then the frustration we learned from our receipt, so how can we get these points together? Any version when them matching is sure that receipt could have been an important point, but I didn't know whether other points would tie to it or how. If we tried searching for an answer, and he would probably want to find out that Natsuhi lied and acted as though grandfather was in our room this morning. Has that fact been exposed by one of Aunt Neva's? I don't get it at all. Why would mom have to lie? She had no reason to, right? That's what I want to know. But Jessica Chan, you can't be sure she had no reason to lie and say that grandfather was in her room. After all, you see it in certain novels every now and then, that trick where people fake the time of death to create an alibi for themselves. What are you talking about? I never heard that. Still haven't found father yet, but it's still pretty unusual to assume he's already been killed. If that's true, there's still death will find his corpse soon. If at that point in time of death could be cleverly faked, Natsuhi and Hisao would have been able to create an alibi. Do you understand? Anyone? Next morning, when Natsuhi confirmed that her father was there, she lied, and he was already dead at the time. And then she moved the body somehow the location to tamper with it so that we would find it. Won't think he was killed just a second ago. That make it possible for her to create an alibi even just by staying with the rest of us. That she could say, I heard some son scream and dashed over there because I'm the first to find the body along with everyone else. Is that what he was saying? Ridiculous. After all, the technical are merely books for the purpose of entertainment. You can only think of such a mystery idea because you read them all the time. That's right. Even if she did try to fake the time of death a little, all that would be blown away and it's supposed to police did their autopsy. That might work in the past, but do you really think the kind of trick will work in modern Japan? Does that make sense? You think so? This morning, when Dr. Angela looked at the corpses, he was only able to give it a vague estimate of the time of death, right? Autopsy results are very easily affected by the environment and individual differences. It's a very relative estimate with an uncertainty of several hours. And unfortunately, the police's scientific investigation will have to wait until tomorrow. It wouldn't be easy to measure the correct time of death so accurately, even in modern Japan. Isn't that right, Dr. Nacho? Examining a corpse is an extremely difficult task. It requires both experience and instinct. I have heard that there is a very high chance of a mistaken diagnosis. I imagine it very possible for a misreading for just a few hours to occur. However, for an alibi, that's more than enough. It's an old trick. It's a trick that works well enough. And that's what you need, son. It's not like we want to suspect you, okay? We just want to prove your innocence so we don't have to suspect you. What's this innocence you want me to prove? This morning I definitely met father, and he told me to keep it a one-winged eagle engraved in my heart. Are you denying that you said that too? I will certainly not permit that. I'm willing to deny that father said those words. Or maybe father's body won't appear anywhere. Normally a person has to be missing for 7 years before they're officially dead. Wouldn't that be a clever way to extend father's nearly finished life another 7 years and keep all his wealth for yourself? I can't let you get away with saying that. I can't let you get away with saying anymore. I am Ushirami Natsuhi. Although I do not have the right to wear that one-winged eagle on my body, it's certainly engraved on my heart. What do you think you're saying to the wife of Cross, successor to the head, and the one who will act as such in his place? What's this? Are you going to shoot me with that gun? Go ahead, if only you just shoot. You're just desperate because you can't think of a way out, right? Do it just trying to escape the truth of the violence. It always sounded like Natsuki had actually been holding that gun at the ready and threatening anyone. But she was egged on by Aunt Eva. She did hold it at the ready. Unsurprisingly, once they got to this stage, just got getting her to stop her. Aunt, please calm yourself. Mom, you aren't lying, so there's no reason for you to listen to this. Calm down, Natsuki. Son, all you've got to do is swear that father's definitely was in that room. Why are you getting so worked up? That's correct. Natsuki, son isn't lying. Shouldn't that be the end of it? Now I want you to explain how the father managed to disappear from the room. The window was closed tight from the inside. The same was true for the door, right? This morning, if you really met with the father, then you must explain how father disappeared from this unable door closed room scenario. But don't that mean you're lying at all, right? How far do you plan to mock me? If you want to argue back, go ahead. That's right. Try explaining it right here, right now. If you do, I'll apologize for disrespecting you. How did father manage to get out from that closed room? I cannot explain. There's no need for me to. Really, then let me explain it. Let me take the best parts from the perspective and here's come up with a bit more friendly explanation. I believe what you said about father still being in his room this morning. However, the next time the door was open, father wasn't there. You don't have any objections so far, right? And I have no desire to hear anything more you have to say. Shut your frivolous mouth. My reason goes like this, okay? I can confirm that on both occasions you were the only one to go through that door. And the receipt proves it, so it's the answer to the puzzle of how father left that room. The window, he was sitting out the window. And so he said he threw father out the third starting window of the study into the courtyard. Madame, please endure it. You or someone, please stop this. After that, when you left, you said you were going to check the doors and windows. You took father's corpse that fell into the courtyard and hid it. That was probably when he took some measures to fake the time of death, right? This ties into the case regarding Costany's son and also the case regarding Beatrice last night. There's a really good chance we got reason to suspect Natsuki's son in all those cases. Normally, I wouldn't want to say this, but now that I say it out in the open, there's nothing else I can do. Please, Natsuki's son. Please explain how you can be innocent. Otherwise, I can help but suspect you. Why me? Why must I, extreme innocent, be insulted like this? Looks like a guy anyone's views on record now. It's useless. It's all useless. Eva. Well, what do you mean useless? Jessica looked up at me, hang on to every word. And Eva's expression was confident as ever. Useless, you say, what is? Battler gun, tell me. You're only convinced it's not Natsuhi because you're the only one looking at the case from a single angle. It's like I'm defending her, but that bluff of all checkmates are gonna fly. I think your reasoning regarding the receipt was passable. It's not a method of logic, but I only give it a grade of 65 at best. I did a certain exam that'd be bad enough to get you extra lessons at detention, right? Oh my, well, how do you think anyone could break through the door, steal my receipt, and make father disappear, other than my theory? It's true that your theory's an interesting one, and if you could say that for sure that's the only way to make grandfather disappear, then you probably will be able to prove that last night the person seeing him, I know he was guilty. However, since there's the possibility that she's innocent and the accusations are false, we can't be sure about that. The battle card saying someone other than Natsuhi trying to make grandfather disappear. It'd be impossible for anyone else to do it. My receipt proved that, right? After all, the first time she visited that study until the second time when we visited together, the study was a perfectly closed room, and then the steel was broken on the closed room it was already missing. If that is a proof she's a culprit, what kind of trick we could have used? Like I said, here are only 65 points, so let's try spinning the chessboard around, shall we? The question is how someone managed to make grandfather disappear from the outside. We should think about how grandfather disappeared from the inside. The door had been receipt stuck in it, so it couldn't have been used. You also could have gone to the window because you can't lock it from the outside. When anyone visited the study, she checked to make sure it was locked. So the window also wasn't used. At that point, the study was really a closed room. We have to accept this. However, the study didn't remain closed forever. Sorry about that. Once the seal created by the receipt was removed, it'd be possible for someone to escape by the door. In other words, the question is how Natsuhi made grandfather disappear when you think about how he was able to escape. Grandfather's study is an ordinary study, right? According to the case, you saw there's a toilet, kitchen, and even a bedroom. Almost like a little house. For example, what if he was hiding under the bed and two of you only thought he was missing? Anyway, he didn't even check that far, right? And the two of you went back down the stairs thinking he wasn't there. At the time, the was already gone. In other words, grandfather was hiding in this room the whole time. It was a closed room, and he escaped after letting the two of you go past him when he would crack his closed room right open. What are you talking about? Why would father need to escape the room in such a bizarre fashion? That'd be so absurd. Yeah, it might be absurd. However, it still shows that there's a possibility that Natsuhi is being falsely accused. Your receipt wasn't perfect. In chess, we might call that a check, but it is a checkmate. But the thing that really pisses me off is how you're pressuring Natsuhi to explain it, then claiming that she must be guilty if she does it. If you want to go down that road, then why don't you let me? Are you sure about Battler spin the chessboard around one more time? And even according to your own argument, you must explain to us why you and Uncle Yoshi couldn't have killed those 6 people last night and then because we returned to the guest house. You went trying to force Natsuhi to explain. So I'm sure you can prove your own innocence, right? Especially now that all grandfather's wealth is suddenly popped down right to your hands. Then that's right, you're suspicious enough yourself, aren't you? If you say mom's suspicious because she's the person not seeing him, then what about you, Anna? Even the last person to see died in the rest. Just like Butler said, he proved that you two weren't the ones who killed them. Mother, I also think your receipt was a little overeager. I'm sure the receipt was a more important hint. But like Butler Gunn said, that's not to prove that Natsuhi was responsible for some plot. We're all equally suspicious. It's not right for Natsuhi to be persecuted. Our proud father calling her is bad. You call now just like an explanation. In case that, when you explain first who killed those 6 and how, and then showing how to prove you weren't involved. Milady, just go start coughing. At first I thought she'd just choke it after yelling too loud, but before long I realized how painful it looked. Just kept coughing and choking down her hands and knees. Just got hand in there, Dr. Nuncho. Jessica said, your inhaler quickly. No way, I have one with me. Dr. Nuncho quickly pulled apron, caught a lighter inhaler from his own bag, which was lying on the sofa, and handed it to Jessica. Come to think of it, 6 years ago, just got to need. Come to think of it, 6 years ago, Dane just got to need sometimes break into violent coughing fits and have to use that. However, 6 years ago, I saw Jessica looked like she was in such pain. And Nikki, was Jessica's asthma always this bad? It's gotten a lot worse these last few years. It's still a problem when she's normal, but when she's an attack comes suddenly, she can't stop coughing anymore. My lady, your medicine. Here. Take an inhaler from Kenninga and just use it with a practice hand. Looked like her throat was still itched for a while, but she had it under control. Are you okay, Jessica? You scared me. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Beads of sweat covered Jessica's whole body and she couldn't hide her rough breathing. But it looked like her sudden attack had calmed down for now. This disturbance, I mean the dangerous atmosphere up until now seems slightly unfocused. That's fine. That kind of battle, a mutual suspicion is completely unnecessary. When you think about it, finding alibis for each other and looking for the culprit is probably meaningless. After all, we're just powerless, ordinary people, and when the police come tomorrow, they'll definitely employ cutting-edge techniques to investigate the case thoroughly, solving all the riddles and arresting the culprit. Perhaps Battler cutting is right after all. Just as Atsuhini's not suspicious, I can't ignore the fact that I'm suspicious too. Arguing now will surely be unproductive. Everything will be fine if we just leave it to the police tomorrow. But don't you want to know to Battler who the culprit is? Don't you want to let them know the pain you feel from losing someone precious to you as soon as possible? I won't deny that even one day will be too long to let the wonderful bastards behind this go. But doesn't mean I want to suspect around 18, even though I said what I said earlier. I don't even want to suspect you and Eva. To me, you're an awesome man who's always been fun and playful. I don't want to trade insults with an ant like that. I wouldn't want to do that with anyone here. Alright? Everyone, I feel the same as Battler was putting this to trade insults. It's probably just the stress built up because so many people have been crammed into one place since morning. Probably. It's only natural. It may not be a place to say it, but I think we all relax as much as possible. Eva, I think we better cool our heads too. The receipt's definitely a big clue for figuring out how father disappeared. We should tell the police about it when they come. That's right. I just feel a little triumph when I figured out that part of the receipt. Of course, it is a fairly suspect Natsuhini-san, right? We're just suspicious. But still, Battler gun, at least a part of the receipt is real, okay? Don't forget it. And I'll start thinking deeply about what it means one more time, okay? And even Hideyoshi stood up. It looked like they planned on leaving the parlor. In the end, it's pointless for us to keep playing detectives. After all, the police will reveal everything anyway. That's right. And if we don't play the detective game, the typhoon will pass, and when those lively seagulls return to the harbor, everything will settle itself. That's right. If you think about this kind of crime, it's completely trivial. It'll definitely be resolved, even if we do nothing when the seagulls cry. As soon as I think you don't want to see my face anymore, I feel the same. If I remember it correctly, yesterday you guys have rooms prepared for us in the mansion, so when you go back to the guest house, right? Those should each have a bath and toilet, as well as a lock and chain to secure the door. That you have even a bed to lie on, and my husband will be able to watch TV without having to think to fight with Mariah. I remember which channel to watch, right? Do whatever you want, but make sure to be cautious. Thinking he signed, mind your own business. I'll be kind of need to keep it on everyone, okay? Because the culprit is different here. And he's make sure you don't forget to keep it on yourself, too. Have you first talked to your person? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I've finished seeing Natsuhini-san. Gunji-san, let us know when it's time for dinner. Till then, we'll lock ourselves a chain. Genji Cannon, escort us to the guest room. We'll be fine. I'll eat shitty escorts. In fact, I'd be more comfortable if nobody leaves this room until we recharge. Let's go, George. I'll stay here with everyone. George, the culprit is in this room. Do you plan on staying in a place like that? Leaving this room will be the same as suspecting one of my relatives. I can't believe anyone in our family is capable of that horrible. George, darling, you tell him to. George is already an adult man. If his code tells him not to leave the room, it's up to him. Let him do what he wants. Father. And even Uncle Hideyoshi left. The only voice that called out to them was the son of the rain. The parlor was being buried beneath the savage atmosphere. When I looked at the clock, I was surprised to find it was already evening. Had it really spent that much time worrying about needing to stay stuck with each other, fighting with each other? Feeling bored, I started scratching at my head when Orion and I made eye contact. I was a little surprised since I thought she was completely immersed in the TV. I believe it now. Ooh. At the letter, I murders everything. It was all Beatrice. In fact, I almost feel like begging her to come out and take credit for it all. I wanted to be the work of a 19th person. Otherwise, it takes the rest well to keep on suspecting each other. I think believing 19th person is better than that. Rennie grandfather outside without the opening doors and windows was a piece of cake for Beatrice, right? Mariah had to take a single short breath, hung her hand, and raised her face again. That's right. Hee locked the door. She useless against the wish. Beatrice is familiar with all 72 demons. The 33rd ranked gap gives a palette instantly cured the desired pertaining location. Dare to take it and press out closer was the heart at all, you see. Which is sure incredible. To live, she feels like a million other crimes can do in a way that no human could. And make me believe that nothing was a know a witch exists. Okay. If I meet her, I'll tell her. Crap, nothing makes this for me to a while now, but but I just have to believe that's the person I deny it. And when I want to believe there are only 18 people, I deny that too. Even though I wanted to be one of just 18 people here, I can't exist if I'm 19th person. And sure, even though there are more than 18 people, there are less than 19 people. The number of people in this between 9 over X over 18. So the number of people can be raised by an integer. However, it's impossible to debate anything at the decimal point. You should be able to show the number of people without anything but an integer. And yet, 19x18, how do you explain the fraction less than 1? That's the wonder. And that's something that couldn't be seen. That's why you could only write the number of the people as an integer. You couldn't see that person. That way she could not be seen because Beatrice has no body. Therefore, she is invisible. Is there a 19th person or not? Is there which exists or not? 19x18, which exists somewhere in that X. Okay, guys. Well, I will be ending the video here. I recorded this video as soon as I got home from a really long shift at work. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So I'm going to upload this, and I will see you guys later.